welcome to this session. While most of the other speakers and panelists have discussed the upsides of digital, upsides of new age technologies and how they are transforming businesses as such, what I'm going to be covering today is some of the things where we need to be watchful, where we need to be mindful, and where we need to actually uh, sometimes take a slightly sort of a cautious stand before we invest and before we embark on those sort of journeys. Because some of these technologies are, at times, they're not tested, they're not very well proven, and if applied in wrong business contexts, then may not be able to deliver the right kind of value that we are envisaging from these transformation programs. So on that note, I'm going to keep it, I'm going to be keeping it very short, simple, with some big, bold messages, and I'm not going to be standing in the way between you and the bar, which is right behind you. Um, so the whole presentation is actually lined up around three broad themes, and there's going to be a trick question towards the end of the presentation. The first theme is around comfortably numb. Now, if you talk about why digital is coming to foray at this point in time, there are three broad laws, and somebody mentioned about Moore's law in the earlier presentation. There are three laws. One is the Butter's law, which actually says that the communication speeds are going 2x every 9 months. And when I say all these things are increasing, the cost base pretty much remains the same. Then we talk about Trader's law, which talks about storage capacity, which again, the cost remains same and doubles up every 13 months. And processing power, which is Moore's law, which somebody else also mentioned, is again doubling up in 18 months, and the cost base pretty much remains the same. All these things coming together, and we are at an inflection point where all of them have actually coming together, where some of these new age technologies, whether you talk about edge computing, quantum computing is just on the horizon. You talk about technologies, AI, which is based on heavy compute and storage requirements, and other technologies like Web3, typically blockchains and all. They're all coming together and become much more feasible for adoption because of all these things coming together. Now, while everybody is on a sort of on a right on digital transformation, and this is a survey which we also conduct. We have been also referring to some of the other matrices from other analyst firms as well. Almost about 89% people and corporations actually and organizations have launched digital transformation programs in some shape and form. Any guesses for how many of these programs have been actually able to deliver value? Any guesses? While most programs have been launched, people are investing in technologies. So the important metric to note here is that 70% of the programs that have been launched fail to deliver the envisaged benefits. That's a key message. Whatever was initially envisaged from a perspective of how the technology will be leveraged in a business context, and technology doesn't stand alone. It has to be looked at it from a business context perspective. Uh, Customer experience, employee experience, whether you want to improve your processes, you want to improve your overall regulatory sort of aspects and all those things. Most programs fail to deliver the initially envisaged business case, which we always draw out when we do any digital transformation programs. And some of the reasons and some of the artifacts, again, to sort of substantiate this number, is most programs are either linked to either revenue uplift or cost savings. And whatever has been initially envisaged as a revenue uplift number, if you've envisaged about 100 or X, you've been only able to sort of achieve about 0.3X of what you have initially envisaged. Same is the case on cost savings. Only what you have envisaged as a number from these programs, you've been only able to sort of achieve about 25% of those cost savings. So some of these matrices are very hard, and I wanted to show this aspect of digital transformation as well, which brings us to an important sort of a point that what is the secret recipe, or what is the secret there's nothing secret about it actually. What is a more mindful or a rightful sort of an approach to go for digital transformation programs? Okay, the next section is pigs on the wing. This is where we'll probably see what are some of those reasons which have led to these programs not giving uh, not giving the envisaged benefits or whatever is the benefit that we want to achieve from these programs. First and foremost, I think again about 50% of the programs actually fail because of one big thing, which is strategic alignment. And when I say strategic alignment, this is to do with business. Technology, digital, they don't sort of work in silos. It has to be looked at from a business context. And specifically, this is a mandate from the top. If it is not driven by CEOs, CIOs, and the CXO community, it is bound to fail. It is not going to deliver the kind of benefits or the transformation that we are looking for in an organization if it is not aligned. So leadership alignment right at the top, the tone has to be set at the top. It is not something that can be done in silos or some technology aficionados want to sort of invest in something and make themselves look good in the organization. It's not like that. It is a very strategic program and it has to be dealt in the same way with the right sort of level of seriousness and importance given right from the top. The next is every company has a certain sort of a vision. Every company has their own sort of strategic objectives to meet. These are objectives in terms of market share, revenue, growth, cost effectiveness, experience. All those are different strategic objectives that have to be sort of looked at from a business context. How you map those objectives into a digital program and map it into a digital objective is a very, very key exercise. And most programs don't do it. Most programs do it at a very, very siloed level. Okay, I am going to be saving 10 FTs. Let's go ahead and do this program. That's not the right approach. I'm going to be probably embedding an AI piece, and I may look good in the organization from a perspective that I was the first one to experiment. That's not the approach. That's really not the approach. So that is where the alignment from business perspective is absolutely key. And if you are not setting the tone from the top, you may not be able to scale and you may not be able to transform in the way you can leveraging these technologies. A digital strategy also has to be looked at from an enterprise perspective. It is something which cannot be looked at that finance is doing something, and I think somebody actually talked about governance. I think it is very important. If you look at anything around IT, digital, it has to be centrally done. The governance at least has to be done centrally. And that's where the strategy part also has to be at an enterprise level rather than at a functional or a sort of a process level or some key stakeholders who want to sort of invest in technologies. That's probably not the way. And 50% of the programs actually fail because of all these factors. Next, organizational inertia. Again, somebody talked about change management. Somebody talked about not from a perspective that employees are not onboarding onto some of these programs and fail to sort of adopt new ways of working, fail to adopt new operating models, fail to adopt probably new skills that are required to sort of be successful in this sort of an era of digital. So again, this is the most important factor when we are talking about success of these programs. And 72% programs fail because of this factor. Again, I think something when we talk about digital, I think the most important thing is digital is not something which can be done by just executing certain projects in different functions. It is a function in itself. It has to be looked at like a central strategic corporate function, which sets the tone for the entire organization. It has to be a central function, and that will cut across the entire organization in a way. So that's where a digital operating model, when a company is embarking on these technologies, is very important. A right operating model has to be defined. role clarities, KPIs, KRAs, again, some of these factors, and of course, integrated change management, because if the organization is leveraging these technologies, people have to be onboarded. People, as in your employees, uh, are your ambassadors. If they are not onboarded, I don't think the customers can be onboarded as such on these programs. So again, the next is under investment in technology. And again, I will probably augment this with saying over reliance on few technologies. Digital has to be looked at like a bouquet of technologies. It's not. So I think most of my conversations these days, when I'm talking to CIOs or CXOs, revolves around AI. I think I think everybody wants to do it, but AI is not like sort of a cookie cutter sort of a solution. It's something which has to be looked at in the light of so many other technologies, and all of them coming and giving a business value. It is not just leveraging one technology. So that's again over reliance on one technology, over investment, under investment in some of the other technologies. It has to be a balanced portfolio when CIOs are looking to invest in digital technologies. Um, Again, one of the reasons, I think, I'll go back to the earlier slide. Yeah, 45% programs fail because the right technologies have not been invested in, and there is over reliance on certain sort of few technologies which lead to programs not giving the benefits. Lastly, talent and skills. Again, I think this is again a very central agenda. The HR function, I think, people and culture, HR, has to really gear up within an organization if the organization is embarking on a digital journey. And they should become the torch bearer in terms of how the career paths of people will actually change, how their roles and responsibilities, how their skill sets will actually sort of evolve, working alongside some of these digital technologies. And again, uh, 52% of the executives feel that this is one of the biggest challenges why programs don't succeed. So this is the fourth pig, which I would say is like sitting on the wings for anybody to actually leverage digital technologies and succeed with them. I'll move to the next section of this presentation, which is coming back to life, which is probably uh, uh, so far it's been a little bit of a, maybe I may call myself a little bit of a dampener to the whole setting, but this is a section where I'll outline some of the things which are relevant, which are important, which should be mindfully considered for anybody embarking on this journey. And the most important aspect when we talk about digital is value. I think gone are the days where uh, the IT function used to be looked at like a cost function. I think when we talk about digital, the most important thing and the first and foremost important thing that comes to mind is what is the value that it is going to deliver or generate. And the other big question is what itself is value. So I'll give you three sort of buckets of value. Functional value, very easy, quantifiable, revenue enhancement, cost optimization, working capital optimization, saves time, saves money. Then there is an emotional element to value also, which is reduces anxiety, gives people access to things much quicker and faster. That's the emotional part why people get hooked onto some of these digital products and say different sort of interventions that actually happen on the digital side. And lastly, the transformational side, which is something where you have to imagine some things which is for the future, which is something not for now, but something for future. And there are clients who invest early. I always sort of prescribe to all CIOs that you should have one sort of a future forward project in your kitty that you should be investing in, and you should be looking at it, which will transform the entire way in which the businesses are being run at the moment. So that transformational thing is something which is future forward, promotes innovation and those sort of things. So this is the value horizon of how you should be measuring value across your programs. And what is the role of a CIO? Provides foundational capabilities. Now, digital programs will eventually, if they may start centrally, but will probably become more citizen-oriented sort of programs. But CIOs will have to be responsible for providing foundational capabilities as such, which everybody sort of uses. And I can see my time is up. Setup of digital governance, a central sort of governance on all digital programs, and challenge and protect value. So whosoever brings you programs or whosoever brings you ideas on digital, CIOs should become uh, the value custodians and should challenge that what is the actual value that any initiative will bring to the organization. A quick glimpse of how you can go about doing this. I think I've already covered in terms of some of the aspects that we need to be mindful of. A digital vision, very important to be set right at the top, goes right from the CXO's office to everyone. A portfolio has to be created, and when I say portfolio, I'll just give a quick message that don't look at siloed activities, don't look at specific processes, look at journeys which are cutting across different teams, functions. These are much broader journeys. You should look at journeys when you're talking about digital, and you should have a plan as to how you will weave digital into those journeys and enhance the overall experience of people associated with those journeys using and actually sort of being part of those journeys. Operating model, very important. Prioritization in terms of feasibility and impact has to be looked at. And then preparing a roadmap. Roadmap is an ongoing exercise. You may do it once, but you will have to keep investing and building a roadmap for the future. Generally, the first time you do a roadmap exercise, it could be a 12 to 18 months sort of a program, but every 6 months you may have to revisit your roadmaps. Digital delivery, I think this is where all the things on implementation, DevOps, and those sort of things typically come. And lastly, digital change, which is again, I think some of the earlier speakers have already sort of covered it. And if you do this right, from a long-term sort of a perspective in terms of competitive advantage as well as from a long-term success, it has been proven and it has been seen that you can be above at least by 16% in terms of your net margin if you've done it right as compared to your industry average. So that's a long-term perspective that you can actually see from a digital programs that can actually deliver you and make you at the top of your industry or a sector as such. With that, I'll end my presentation. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm here. I'm going to be here for some more time. And my last trick question, which I'll probably ask you. So here goes the question. So any guesses, which is my favorite rock band? A quick hint is there were 3 themes. You will have to connect those themes, and if you feel that you are able to connect them, then they are connected by just one thing, which is the rock band that I'm talking about here. Okay, I'll not take any more time. It was Pink Floyd. All the themes were actually the songs by Pink Floyd. So, and I'm a big fan of Pink Floyd. So on that note, I'll end my presentation. Thank you, everyone. You've been a lovely audience. Please feel free. I'm sort of right there at the back. Any questions? Happy to be engaged. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for the lovely presentation. Indeed, it was very much connecting, interacting, and most importantly, relevant, because relevance is the key. So thank you. Can we just appreciate this wonderful gentleman? Thank you. Now let's proceed quickly towards the next panel discussion. We're going to talk about data-driven strategy. In order to moderate this session, ladies and gentlemen, kindly help me to welcome Vasu Pradha Srinivasan, Principal Analytics. First, a round of applause, everybody. Please help me to welcome Ms. Vasu Pradha. थोड़ी और तालियों के साथ, everybody. Lovely. And let me welcome our esteemed panelist, Chandan Pani ji. So, help me to welcome Mr. Chandan Pani ji, Chief Information Security Officer, LTI Mentry. A round of applause, everybody. Help me to welcome him. Mr. Yogesh Kumar, Head of IT, Tata Advanced Systems Limited. Help me to welcome Mr. Yogesh Kumar. Yogesh sir is saying that I can't be a part of this session because audience are not even applauding. Come on, let's appreciate, isn't it? Please help me to welcome Mr. Navanithan, M. Senior Vice President, CISO and Data Privacy Officer. Last but not the least, Angadi Viruprakash, ladies and gentlemen, IT Director, Ms. A round of applause, everybody. Ramaya Group, University, Hospital, Medical Colleges. So here we go for the next panel discussion. How many of you are really excited about the topic? It's about data-driven strategy, everybody. Mr. Yogesh Kumar, are you here? Mr. Yogesh Kumar, Head of IT, Tata Advanced Systems Limited. Mr. Yogesh Kumar. All right, can you just raise your hand if you're really interested for this panel discussion, which is all about data-driven strategy? Yes? Lovely. Only like, look, this is democratic country, so we really need votes, isn't it? Please let me know how many of you are really interested, intrigued to be here for this session, which is called data-driven strategy. Oh, like 80%. Okay, lovely, I think. Then 80% is a huge amount. Please kindly be on stage. I request you all help me to welcome our moderator along with our esteemed panelist. And thank you, everybody. Help me to welcome them. Come on, let's do this all together. If you are coming for panel discussion or presentation, imagine nobody is appreciating you. It doesn't feel right, is it? So let's do this, right? We are a team, we are one. We are having the same vision for the country, isn't it? So let's do this like a team. Now I hand over the mic and the stage to us lovely moderator with two requests. Please take a good check of time. And of course, you are the veteran. You're going to make it very interacting. All over to you, ma'am. And an applause for a lovely moderator on stage, everyone.
Thank you so much, Asmita. Hey, everyone. Can we have microphones for the panelists, please?